doing what you love every single day is the goal, right? The goal is to be able to do more of what you love with the people that you love, I guess. So it's like, that's the outcome that you're striving for. So there's nothing wrong with saying, this is my favorite part of my business. This is the bit that I love the most. I'm just going to get really, really good at this.
This is the Extra 10% podcast, helping you get paid tomorrow for what you do today. Invite John Holowaty and Mark Hudson to join you at the breakfast table, ride with you to work, or just randomly stumble across them in the afternoon. Let's get the extra 10% out of your day.
How's it going, lad?
Very good, mate. Very good. So you're in a different office?
No, this is the same one as last week, but if I just turn it slightly more like that, you can see the door.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, close the door in case anyone hears us.
No, it's all right. There's nobody here. It's early on a Saturday morning. Nobody else is hustling like this, mate, in the office. No. Also, I just tried to take the lid off my bottle twice. So that's how hard I work.
It's an invisible lid. So what
how you been? Whatever. Yeah, I've had it's been an epic week for me, to be honest with you, mate. So I realized business-wise that I guess this is like most entrepreneurs try and do everything at first, like, as in like they really try and cover. I mean, I suppose you have to do that anyway, like with any business, you can't afford to just go out and hire people and stuff like that on day one. So you kind of cover everything. So I guess I've done that for too long, where I've done too many pieces or too many cogs in the mechanism. And therefore what starts to happen is that you're not doing any one of them to the best of your ability because you're trying to do 5 or 6 of them. Anyway, I sort of realized that I needed people to kind of look after customer success. And sort of once I'd kind of onboarded a client and sort of, I guess, taught them through what we do, that I could sort of pass it on to someone then to kind of, I guess, gives that customer tender love and care, right? Look after them, make sure the questions are answered, support tickets are like responded to super quick, all those kind of things. And then liaise with the developers to like build websites and stuff. So I sort of realized I needed that role and a bit of help. So put an advert out, whatever, started to interview people. And while I was doing that interview process, I got speaking to somebody, and I guess this is kind of how the universe works, I suppose, that I guess I would call more of a generalist, as in was very good at maybe like 2 or 3 items. And I realized, because I guess we would still be classed as a small business, that you still don't necessarily need people who are like specialists at like one little item. Because so like as I got speaking to him, I was like, holy, like,
were you interviewing this person, or were they just doing it?
Yeah, so I was interviewing. So they'd applied for that customer success management role. And what was really cool was like, they had like joined a business about sort of 10 years, no, maybe not 10 years ago, 7 years ago, that had about 20 employees in it. And that company then grew from the 20 employees to about 200 employees and sold for like $1 billion last year. And then when they basically sold, the whole company was kind of restructured, and he sort of was in a role that like, he was sort of managing for manager's sake, if that makes sense. He didn't feel like he was having impact there anymore, blah, blah. So then he kind of was on the lookout for like a startup business that, or, something reasonably early on.
Pup.
Say again?
A young pup to kind of get teeth into.
Or like a business that, a bit like us, we go in 3 years or whatever, that have,
potential.
And it's kind of like, and go into that business and then obviously help kind of grow it. So obviously I got speaking to him and realized that as much as I was looking for one individual role, he was able to bring that to the table because that was one of the skills that he'd done, the kind of customer success management. But he was also very good at like operations and processes. There's a number of other things, right, that were also cogs in the system here that I've had in the back of my mind saying, okay, well, once I've got that person in order, I can then go and look at replacing myself in this place. But it's almost like I've been able to replace myself in like 2 or 3 areas with one hire. And I feel like that's, I guess, key when you're sort of a smallish business, is you don't necessarily need specialists in one little thing. Anyway, long story long, is he started on Monday, and this week, I would say business-wise, we have moved the needle more in a week, the needle of business moving forward, I guess, than I probably have on my own in the last year, like within like a week. And so the first couple of days was like, obviously the first day was me kind of indoctrinating him into everything Let's One, what we do, the journey we've been on, etc. And then by the end of day 2, we'd started to kind of map out what the whole of June looks like, of like what things we need to address first, second, third, etc. And then by the time Wednesday came along, we were doing it. So like we weren't talking about it anymore. We were putting these, you know, new web pages in place that we needed, or a new onboarding process. Like we started to do it. And so like we have like 4 major milestones to hit this month. So the first was like onboarding clients. So what we realized, and I realized this, and I was kind of saying to him that somebody has an amazing experience when I sell them the product, right? That I enjoy doing, I love it, and the customer can tell that. So they have a great experience. But once I've kind of done that element, I haven't then been onboarding a client at that same level. So like keeping them at that same excitement, essentially, you know, and by onboarding, I mean things like getting all the content we need to build the website, you know, making sure they know the project timeline, different things like that. So step 1 was this week was onboarding. We got that nailed, and I'm kind of finalizing some bits here now on sort of Saturday of the first week. Next week is all about sales. So it's kind of like documenting everything I do sales wise. You know, the process of generating leads, the process of prospecting, and then talking to those prospects, converting them from prospects into clients, and basically documenting that so that it's duplicatable, so that next month we can bring a salesperson in to work alongside me doing that, and then the month after bringing another salesperson to kind of phase me out, if that makes sense. But it starts with obviously documenting the process. What is it that I'm doing? Because you can't duplicate yourself if people don't know what it is you do, if that makes sense.
There's no system.
Right. So it's about creating a system around it. So that's kind of phase 2, which is next week. And then phase 3 is about handover. So a critical part of our business, because we work with clients like long term, is say we build a website in that first month, is like, rather than just sending them the link and being like, right, your website's live now, whatever, is having, again, a process of handing over everything, like, here's your login details, here's tutorial videos of how to like edit the site, here's how you get support. And then when we hire a customer service manager that's on their own, obviously at the moment, this new guy is doing this, it's like, here's your customer service manager's contact details and maybe a picture of them. And so it's like, again, onboarding the client so that they know how to get access to things when they need them. And then it's basically just a super slick operation. So that's kind of phase 3, is like that handover, that the process between the two. And then the final phase then of like the month, phase 4, or week 4, is then like optimizing like the in-between bit. So what I mean by that is like, when you're onboarding a client, it doesn't necessarily mean they'll go through all the stages straight away. So then it's having like email follow-up or, you know, whatever that brings them back into the onboarding system if they've not quite completed a section, if that makes sense, you know. So yeah, that, like I say, we've mapped it all out and we've already done phase 1.
It reminds me of the book, The E-Myth. It
right.
really does. I think you've read that book.
Yeah, it's a great book, yeah.
I mean, that seems like you're putting that in place now in different people, in different roles, creating different systems around it, which ultimately allows you to do what you love. And that's what life is about, right? I've been listening to a lot of stuff this week, a lot of I'm really into Tim Ferriss at the minute, his podcasts, and what's the other guy, the impact theory guy?
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I know exactly who you mean.
Billy or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
But I listen to his stuff, and everything that these guys talk about is actually doing what you love every single day is the goal, right? The goal is to be able to do more of what you love with the people that you love, I guess. So it's like, that's the outcome that you're striving for. So there's nothing wrong with saying, this is my favorite part of my business. This is the bit that I love the most. I'm just going to get really, really good at this. And then, you know, I'm going to bring somebody else in who absolutely loves the client retention side of it. And I'm going to bring someone who's super passionate about that. They can do that better than I can do it because, number one, they're more passionate about it than me and they want to do it. And then and then when you build those systems around it, it's like, I can't remember, I think it is the E-Myth where, or it might have been another book about systems, but you literally have to, I think they call it the UFO principle. Like, you have to imagine, could your business still run if a UFO came and took you from your pit in the evening? And could that gap, you know, you've got to build this system with the new person that you brought on board. Can that system still operate if for whatever reason he decides that it doesn't want to work anymore? You could just bring somebody else in and go, there's the system, just follow that and you're good. So these systems, it's a little bit about our podcast title is Get Paid Tomorrow for What You Do Today. It's like all these processes take time and energy at the beginning. And obviously they're always going to need tweaking and refining. But once they're in place, you've got a system set up for onboarding clients, for retaining clients, for exiting clients for whatever reason.
For ex-clients. For
ex-clients, little black book. And then just keep repeating that. And it's the same with my business. Like, I love meeting new people, taking them through the steps of what it is to, you know, be successful. I love the mentorship element, the personal development, but the delivering and shipping products, I don't want to do any of that stuff.
I was literally just thinking that you've essentially done this like from day one, is that you've found, you know, you've gone out your way, if you will, to find a business that does the bits that you don't want to do so that you can concentrate and be better at the bits you'd like.
That was fluke, to be fair, because I didn't know that sort of business existed. So when I started to read the book, The E-Myth, I was doing exactly what you're doing now, but I was doing it for my boot camp. So I was like writing systems. I didn't want to be in that gym every single day because it was killing me. I was just in there every day, and it was affecting my performance as well because I became to resent the fact that I had to work all these hours. And I was like, again, going back to the point of, you know, the ultimate goal is to do what you love. And I'm like, well, I am doing what I love, but I don't want to eat steak every night of the week now. Like, my goal, you know what I mean? So I started to resent it a little bit and become frustrated. So I brought trainers in to work with me. And I wrote a system on, right, this is the warm-up for the session. This is what the workout looks like. This is how you end the session. Even to the point of like writing down, high five every single person when the class is finished. Like, there was literally a system. Excuse me, a bit of dust went in my throat. There was literally a system for that. Like, it was so intricate. And I'm sure I got it from the E-Myth. There was a system for onboarding clients. There was a system for taking them through that process. And then I had to do the follow-up system. Because when you look at the E-Myth, you've got the entrepreneur, which is what you are. You've got the manager, which is, it sounds like what this new guy is. All right, operations, it sounds more like the manager, operations. And then you've got the technician, which is the people that are building the websites and all that kind of stuff. And that was where I was at with my PT business. It was like, I was doing everything. I was the entrepreneur. I was coming up with ideas of how we can brand and challenges we can run and how we can get more sales and how we can get more brand awareness and marketing. That was like the entrepreneurial role. Then I was the operations guy because I had to set the timetable. I had to do, you know, go and get hoodies ordered online for people that wanted to buy hoodies and get herbal teas and buy equipment for the gym and clean the gym and all this kind of stuff. And then the third part was I was teaching the classes. I was in there every single day doing that. Now, that's okay. If my goal was to be earning what I was earning and doing that job and I didn't have any ambitions to go any further, that's totally fine. There's some people, like, I think in the book, he talks about like Maggie's Cake Shop, and Maggie's happy with like earning 20,000 a year only having X amount of customers, and she's happy being the technician and she's happy doing all three roles. So what the book says about her is just let the systems be created so it can be a lot easier for you. Because if you've not got a system, you just completely spin in place. So it's a really good book on systemization, but also if it allows you to be, if you want to be a one-man business that is like, you've got a goal and you've hit it, and you know what, my life is comfortable, I'm happy, I'm earning 25 grand a year, I don't need any more, I don't want to earn any more. My ultimate goal is to just do whatever it takes to stay at this level. And if I wanted to grow it, I can turn up the volume a little bit. So some people are happy with that. For me, I wanted to grow more. So I could do it now. I don't need to do it now, and I don't want to do it now. But looking back, I was getting to a position with my bootcamp business where I was putting those systems in place. It was just with the network marketing. It was like, when I first saw it, I was like, what? Everything that I hate, like, and I say hate loosely, but everything that I avoid like the plague: paperwork, administration, operations, money collection. Like, I used to hate asking for money from clients when I was a PT. I just hated it. I hated all that stuff. I don't have to do that with this company. All I have to do is the three things that I love: getting customers, recruiting new team members, and teaching and mentoring people. So I just shortcutted everything that I was gonna have to do with my bootcamp business. I just shortcutted it and moved it into a network marketing business model, which allowed me to do with a product that I believe and love, allow me to do more of what I do every single day. It's like, do what you love, find a way to do what you love every single day as quick as possible, because life's short. Yeah, and that's what I've been saying on these podcasts. Like, life is so short, like it goes so quick. So you have to figure out the fastest way to do what you love every single day and spend time with the people that you love every single day. And this lockdown has given me that. This lockdown has given me that vision, and that, you know what? I need to speed up. People are saying to me, like, why are you working so hard? We did a call last night with 1,000 people on it, like a Friday night call, and you're getting 1,000 people on a Zoom. It's insane. And why is that? Because I'm hungry. The people are hungry. And it's like, we've only got a certain amount of time. That's what's dawned on me over this lockdown period. It's like, we literally have only a certain amount of time. And Tim Ferriss said something. They asked Tim Ferriss a question on one of the things. It was like, said, who would you love as your podcast interview? And he said, my parents. He said, if it was one person that you could have, he said, it's a great idea. He said, to get your parents on the podcast, record it. He says, you don't even need to make it public. It can be a private thing. But then you've got that as a memento for the future, you know, when your parents aren't here anymore and stuff like that. You've got that as like as a great thing, you know, and interview your parents. And I thought about it, and I thought, you know what, with my grandparents, I'd have loved the opportunity to have done that, to learn a bit about their story and to learn a bit. And I don't have regrets, but I wish, I guess, had been, maybe I did spend a bit more time with the people. Maybe I wasn't old enough. Maybe I wasn't wise enough at the time. You're sort of in that age where you just take things for granted. But this situation has opened my eyes to, and you said it the other week, like spending more time, realizing that you want to spend more time with your parents and figuring out how to get what you want quicker, how to do what you love quicker, and how to spend more time with the people that you care about quicker, rather than this whole, I'm just going to get my head in, I'm going to get my head down, and I'm going to work for like 5 years, and I'm not going to see your mum, I'm not going to see your dad, I'm not going to see you, and before you know it, that 5 years is gone, and maybe there's a tragedy that's happened or something. You've wasted all that time. So I think
it might not even be and it might even be you wasted it. It's just that you spent 5 years, but you're not at the place you thought you would be. And then actually now you look at it again, it's going to be another 5 years. So then it's like 10 years of not speaking to people. The other thing as well is, like, you're not really talking, or, you know, we're not really talking about big chunks of things. So what I've realized is, like, and this is a real cool exercise for everyone to do, is like like set your phone so for your alarm to go off every 30 minutes, right? And like, obviously in the day, turn it off at night, and like just record everything you do. Every time that goes off, what have you been doing in the last 30 minutes, right? Just like what are the 2 or 3 things you've done, the one thing, whatever. And at the end of a week, just review where you put your time. Because I guarantee you that you waste time doing things like cooking, eating, cleaning, washing your clothes. Oh no, I didn't mean that. I mean like
like just the pause was hilarious.
I was just thinking, but like all these little shit, ironing, like all these things that cost like 20 quid a week, 30 quid a week to get someone else to do, and you're spending like, you know, I'd like I say, guarantee if you look through, still love it. If you look
how much
through,
does it cost in time as well?
Well, there's that's it. But like, imagine. So here's the thing that I've like done this last kind of week off the back of what we speak is I don't cook any food anymore. And I rarely did anyway. But what I'm saying like is kind of coming back in to the office and things like that. I've just gone with a meal prep company. They deliver my food. I whack it. It's like all like healthy food and like. I put it in the microwave if it's not a salad, obviously, because you'd be an idiot if I put a salad in the microwave. But I put it in the microwave and I eat it and I get on with what I'm trying to do, whether that's spend time with people, build my business, whatever it is I like doing. And like the other thing is I haven't done this yet, but it's on my list to do this month, is to, sounds bizarre, but like all the most successful people on the planet that you, I guess, would know in modern time, from a Mark Zuckerberg, a Steve Jobs, you know, these kind of people. They wear the same clothes every single day, right? Maybe different variations, a gray one, a blue one, a black one, but it's the same clothes. And I thought like, yeah, I don't really care about, like, I'm not, some people have a hobby in fashion, right? That they like doing different, I don't give a crap about that. So what I've decided is, if you just buy 2 weeks worth of clothes, right? So like 14 of these, but in maybe different clothes, whatever. Every day you wake up, you just put the same thing on. There's no like time wasted, and then there's no time wasted like going, oh, does this match that or this? Just it's done. So
and there's no time wasted going shopping.
Never. And here's what I thought I'd do. Right, is you buy 14 items of clothes, which basically means you'll wear each item 25 times a year, which isn't like excessive for any piece of clothing. And at the end of the year, donate it all to charity, and then do the same thing again. Just buy 14, outfits. And then just keep doing that every year. So you're getting new clothes every year. Like, because that's what I looked. I was like, I barely buy clothes at all. And like,
yeah, me neither.
Oh, so anyway, so it's little
because you're not passionate about it, and you're not passionate about cooking either. So it's like, I'm the same. Like, all I've done since I've been on lockdown is I've literally eaten the same meal every single day. I have a lentil stew with broccoli, right? And this is how simplified this is. I was going to say lazy, but I don't think it's lazy. I think it's more smart. I'm on my own, so I just get frozen vegetables that have already been cooked. It's like a meal prep thing, but it's obviously not. I just get a big bag of frozen broccoli and frozen veg, chuck it in the freezer. Obviously, that's where it goes. And then I get a tin of it's like a vegetarian chili, so it's just lentils. So what I do is I've been trying to drop body fat and get in shape and stuff like that. So I've known that if I just eat the same simple, high nutrition, dense foods every single day, I don't have to wait to get tired where I might make a stupid decision and go, oh, I'm just going to get a pizza and stick it in the oven. So I've always had like these tins ready, and then this veg in in the oven, in the freezer. And it's like literally, and I wait to the point where I'm that hungry, where, you know, when you're that hungry where you go, I could eat anything. So you're not that bothered then about, you know, when you were a kid, like you weren't that hungry and you'd have your tea and your mum would make you something that was like, you weren't really fancying it that night. So you'd end up not eating it. But when you're hungry, you'll eat anything anyway. Yeah, so I get to the point where I'm like, right, I'm hungry now. Perfect. I have German rye bread because it's high fiber, good carbs. I use that. I have the lentils and the veg, and that's it. And then the same thing pretty much every night. And then I have a banana omelette, a banana pancake omelette as like my dessert sort of healthy treat, high in protein. There's banana in there, which is great, coconut oil, some cinnamon, and a herbal tea. And that is what I'm eating.
Do you eat anything like, so like, I'm just fasting now. I just eat at 4 p.m. every single day for two reasons. One is eating is a waste of time. I can't wait for the day that you can just have an IV, and because your body doesn't want food, right? We all know this. It wants the nutrients. So I'm like, want to be one of the first people. Like, if you don't have to eat again, or you just eat for like pleasure. So like, on a Saturday, just like you would have a beer for pleasure, or the things that it's like, I want that life where it's like, oh yeah, actually once every 3 weeks, I eat a meal because the food is for the pleasure, like, of enjoying the food. Whereas the rest of the time, like the other 21 days out of whatever, 3 weeks, I just have an IV that's putting the nutrients into my body. Like, because it's a waste of time eating. For me anyway, like I say, I don't like...
If you enjoy it, it's like, the best, like, where I'm at the minute, we're in the zone of like build. So every second counts. So I don't need, it's like when you see these triathlon guys, they're like riding along and someone just chucks them one of these gels. They go,
yeah.
And they take the nutrients as quick. They don't, they get off the bike, sit there, put the napkin on and start eating.
Yeah.
Like, as the time's literally ticking and Lance Armstrong's going past at 100 mile an hour. It's like, we're the same in our business world. We're like, I've got 30 minutes here. I need to be speaking to 5 people within that 30 minutes if I can, or whatever. I ain't got 30 minutes to waste. And I'm a nightmare for eating too quick, which isn't good for you. But we're just kind of in this rush at the minute to a sense of urgency, I guess it is, which is really, really cool. But I do love dining out. There's a difference.
Right. 100%. That's what I'm talking about. If there was this availability now of like having an IV where you didn't have to eat, like Monday to Friday when I'm in the zone, Monday to Saturday, like give me the IV, and then on a Saturday night I'll take that IV out and I'll go for that meal out. Because I'm the same. Like, I love going out for sushi or like like a nice steak or something like that. But like once a month maybe. Like, I'm not really that bothered about it. It's not like, I don't know.
It's not. You don't plan to do it every week, but yeah, I know what you mean. And also, cooking is cool. Like, it's nice to have a glass of wine and make some food together and do some stuff. But the general gist of it, the 80-20 rule, I guess it is, 80% of your energy needs to be going into the stuff that is making you your money, which is giving you, going back to it, giving you the life where you get to do more of what you love every single day. There's a guy that I follow on YouTube. He's about investing and living in different countries, living where his phrase is go where they treat you best. Like, find a country where they treat you best. And it's a cool slogan. And I love what we're saying here, which is find a way to do more of what you love every single day. Like, if you love surfing and you want to spend most of your time surfing, like, find a way to create a business that allows you to spend more time surfing. I'll never forget being in Manhattan Beach in California, and the surfers were out there and I was just sat on the balcony watching them. It was amazing. And one guy come out the ocean, literally toweled himself down, and he put on a suit, like a full-on suit. And he obviously was driving to work to probably do real estate or something. I just mind boggled. I was like, wow, there was so many takeaways from it. I was like, that guy, you can tell like his life is on a clock. He's now got, great that he's got his surfing in the morning. That was amazing. Like, hats off to him. But then the other part of it was like, I bet he's so unfulfilled. Like, I bet he's really loving it this morning. And he's looked at his watch and gone, for fuck's sake, I've got to go and do this meeting now and all that kind of stuff. Like, if I could have had 5 minutes with the guy, I'd have been like, right, why don't you figure out a way how you can do more of what you love? There's got to be a way for you, whether it's creating an online course, whether it's joining a network marketing business, whether it's becoming an entrepreneur and setting up your own offline business, whatever. There's got to be a way to do it to allow you to have that time freedom. And I think that's where my head's at this year, is the epiphany of all this stuff that's gone on, is do more of what you love that serves your purpose. And I love building my business. I love working with the people that I get to work with. So I'm happy doing more of that. That's why I've not been bothered about Friday night. Let's get on these calls. Let's work Saturday. My schedule is open. I've got like
well, I
4
guess
calls.
the days don't exist now anyway. Like, as in,
Yeah.
really, like, there's no such thing as a Friday night, because if people really want to enjoy themselves, like, let's say alcohol or partying or whatever, like in their own home, I suppose, is like, do it on a Tuesday. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's no kind of, the other thing as well is like one of the massive, you kind of came to this epiphany, like you were saying about, like, we haven't got that much time, and, you know, like, or yeah, there's only so many springs in the year. There's only so many, there's one spring in the year, but there's only so many springs in your lifetime. You know what I mean? Like, if you kind of start your working age in your 20s, let's say you're 20 years old, and if you die, let's say at, I don't know, whatever, 85, right? So you've got 65 springs. Now, if you're sat here listening to this now and you're 30, you've only got 55 springs. You've already lost 10. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're 40, so it's like, you need to take advantage of it. And for me right now is, I basically got a massive kick up the arse, if you will, when Phoenix was born, because I was just like, right, in my brain, I'd already like decided that I was going to be a millionaire before I had a kid. Like, that was kind of just for whatever reason that was in my brain. And then now that that's not the case, I'm going, so like, some people, I guess, have a kid and slow down, whereas I've had a kid and I don't think I've worked as hard in my life. That's why I've been like, you know, I get up now at 5:30 in the morning. I'm in the office for 7. You were talking about the surfer guy, you know, in the morning. It's like, just to kind of flip what you were almost saying is, he might get such meditation from doing that surfing. It's like, some people in the UK roll out of bed 20 minutes before they need to be in the office. They like throw their clothes on, eat some shit in the morning, grab a coffee, whatever, and then they slump into the desk, you know, for whatever, 8:30. This guy's been up since 5 a.m.
Yeah, amazing.
You know, he's gone and surfed, he's done this. So when he gets in the office, he's feeling $1 million almost, you know. And I'm kind of trying to take that same mantra, which is like, between 5:30 when I wake up and 7 a.m. when I open my laptop for the first time, is I've meditated. I've looked at my goals. You know, I've thought about, you know, my missus and little Phoenix and the life we're going to live and all that. So like, when you then start your day at 7 a.m., which actually, to be fair, is earlier than most people do. But let's say, you know, you sat working at 7 a.m. You're in the zone already. Like, you've had an hour and a half of prep. And like, for me, it's like, I want to kind of get to like a warm country, because then you could go to the beach in the morning and do the meditation on the beach. So you take that up a level, and it's like, it's just, life becomes so much more exciting. But yeah, that's kind of what I've realized is, and this might come across as being bizarre, but it's the way I feel, so I don't give a shit, is like, I know right now that there's not much value I can add to Phoenix's life, right? As in, like, at the end of the day, he breastfeeds every day and has his nappy changed, like, you know, 5, 6, 7 times a day, whatever.
You only do one of those.
Right. But like, there's only so much I personally can do for that boy right now. So like, as long as he's got nice clothes, a couple, you know, some toys to play or whatever. But where I can add the most impact is when he's 3 years old, 4 years old. I guess I have to teach him things that are like, you know, about the world and all these kind of things. So what I've sort of realized is, if I just work my ass off for 2 years now, between him being 0 and 2 years old, where he has no memory anyway, and then at 2 years old, I then can take my foot off the gas. What are you laughing at?
Oh, he has no memory anyway.
Well, he done so like
his Christmas presents.
Yeah, true. But like, you get what I'm trying to say. That
no, I do. It makes total sense.
That it's just like, by the time he's 2 years old, I've put these systems in place, multi-million-pound business. You know, it runs itself, and I then can go, let's go on holiday. Let's do this. It's a Tuesday. Let's go to Paris for a few days and spend time with him. Because the one thing that I always said, like, I guess about being a parent, was that I would never miss my child's like nativity play or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like at school, it's not happening. So there was no way I could work for somebody else when I have a kid, because I don't ask for time off when that child has a nativity play. I'm already there. Like that, you know, that day is built around that. So that's kind of what, you know, if you think a child goes to school.
That makes sense. It's like, to kind of wrap it up, it's picking the right moments at the right time. choosing the right moment to put your energy in, and you've got this window now. It's a little bit like lockdown as a smaller version of that. People are going like, why are you working so hard? I'm like, the world has stopped. There is nothing else to do but work harder than you have ever worked before, because I know when the world reopens that I'm not going to have as much sort of presence in this moment, because I'm going to be doing other stuff. More people are going to want my attention. I'm going to be going back to the UK. So I've literally got this moment in time to go bam, 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 and smash it out of the park. Do as much as I can, as fast as I can, put as much energy into things as I can, and build up that consistency and that momentum. And you're doing that within this 2-year frame. Yeah, of course, you're going to be there for the stuff that he needs you for, but he's not going to be going, where's my dad now? Where's my dad? He's not even thinking about that. So he's not missing you. You're probably missing him more. But the reason that you're doing what you're doing right now is you're providing the future. And this is where I see with a lot of parents, they kind of give up on their dreams as soon as they have kids, and they go into this whole, it's all about my son. I just want to be with my son. I just want to be with my daughter. They just put all their time and energy, like their purpose has become being a parent. And they were talking about this on the podcast the other night that I listened to. It was really interesting. And I think what you've done in a really cool way is you've made being a parent a powerful purpose to change your life, rather than just this, I'm a parent now and it's all about just doing what, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's almost like you scrub out your own goals and go, yeah, I'm just a dad.
I'm
a dad now. Like your goals have gone. It's like your biggest thing is being a dad, and it doesn't have to be that way. You can have everything, right? Like you're saying there, you've just got to think outside the box. You just got to think smart.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, cool little podcast. Hope you have a great week, laddie. And anyone listening to this, remember to subscribe. And we'll see you next week.
The Extra 10% Podcast. Remember to like the John and Mark Facebook page on Facebook, or visit johnandmark.co.uk for exclusive updates and content. Why not share this podcast with a friend and help them get paid tomorrow for what they do today?